Hey, what's going on, guys? The Beldam is back for a brand new video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about a book that I just finished literally last night. But before I do that, I should mention that when I started this channel, I wanted to incorporate reviews of books into my normal, normal loosely, using that term loosely, like schedule of videos on here. So I I haven't been consistently reading, but I am trying to get back into that. And so uh, yeah, I've been trying. I'm going to be putting out more reviews of books on here, and alongside like my other reviews of showcases and movie reviews and such. So I'm just letting you know that the book reviews of here will become a critical part of this channel. And yeah, just let me know what you think about that, because I do love books and I want to talk about them. But in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a 2018 crime novel by, I'm sorry I can't pronounce his name. He wrote this book. He wrote this crime fiction novel called The Chestnut Man. And uh, what this book is about is it follows a police force or a detective. It follows a couple of detectives who are residing in Copenhagen, and it follows their story as they track down a series of brutal, emphasis on the brutal, we'll get to that, killings of mainly women. And every time this serial killer leaves his mark, he leaves a little chestnut doll. Which, if you don't know what that is, like look it up. But essentially, he leaves it as his calling card to know that this is the work of what they later in the book deem him as the Chestnut Man. And this book is really if you guys ask me, my my forte when it comes to books are not it's not um I don't really gravitate towards crime fiction a lot. It's not my go-to genre when it comes to books. Like I don't mind the occasional one, but if you ask me, I'm not like someone who reads a lot of this kind of stuff. But um I recognize that this I recognize good writing when I see it. I mean, I can tell that I have an eye for good writing, and this book definitely has good writing. It is a well-written book. It is, however, in my opinion, I kind of feel like it does over-explain a lot of things, and it goes on for, it is kind of lengthy. It's over 500 pages, essentially, basically. It's a long book, but to its credit, I mean, it could have been cut down 100 pages or so, but there is a lot, and I mean a lot, happening in this book. There's a lot of characters. We have and a lot of the characters have a lot of like background to cover, and yeah, the case of this serial killer is. I mean, I enjoyed this book. I really did. Okay. This book has, from what I've seen, this book has two crowds. It's one crowd is absolutely love this. They absolutely love this book. It was a 4-5 star read for them, glowing praises. They absolutely adored it. And then there's the other ones who DNF'd it or did not finish it. And I'm gonna be honest, I was almost one of the people that DNF'd it because, like I said, it's a long book, and when you get to the middle portion of it, I just kind of felt the length of it, but I just kept pushing through, and I really enjoyed it. I I would actually this book, the way it ends, it kind of whether it's depending on the person, I think it ends up as kind of open. The way it ends, it kind of and open. Oh my god. It kind of ends open with an open ending. So it's if there was a sequel to this book following our certain character in this, I would be kind of curious to read it just to see how like this book had a pretty it's a patient read. There's a lot of patience in this book, let me tell you. And but I think when you get to the end, I really thought it I thought it really picked up near the end. Like the final last third of this book was really, really engaging. It was like, okay, now this is what I'm looking for. Like this fast paced kind of let's get to the big reveal of what's going on. And it really once it gets to that, it doesn't let there's a lot of slow points in this book. This book is it's a very character driven book. There was obviously a plot here, but it's a character driven story. And like I said, it mainly focuses on the police detective force who are tracking down this person who's doing these killings. But also it focuses on this other character named Rosa Hartong, who has this very deep. All these characters have very detailed backstories, but Rosa Hartong especially. I kind of found her character to be the most interesting to follow because, she has a lot. Because her story is that her daughter went missing like about a year prior to this book. What the events in this book, I mean, and there's speculation of whether or not she was still alive, but she's still holding out hope that she is because what's interesting is in this book, in the story, every time the Chestnut man leaves his little chestnut dolls at the crime scene, they find her daughter's fingerprints all over it, but everyone has assumed that she was dead. So that's something worth. That was something like this book was heavily looking into, and she has to be like she's going. She just became the minister of I think some kind of services. I'm not sure. I forgot what it was, but what happens with the daughter was real. What happens with the daughter and what happens was really really engaging, and a lot of this is a dark book too, like especially with the killings. The killings are very graphically detailed. A lot of this killer basically he likes to saw off appendages or limbs, and he leaves them hanging in trees in very eerie positions. And it's a very very graphic book, which I appreciated because I wouldn't this is an adult crime novel, so I would kind of expect it to have that kind of graphicness to it, which I really appreciated. But yeah, the ending of this book was really, really kind of satisfying, almost to a point where I was happy where it ended, but I was kind of be open to a sequel if the author ever decides to write one. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book, guys. I know I'm being very vague because if I think it's worth reading if you can tolerate, like if you're a very patient reader, if you have the time to read all this. I read it along with the audiobook version of it. So yeah, it took me about a month to get through this, even though it's only 500 pages. To my credit, I'm a very not very fast reader, so I like to take my time with books. But yeah, and like they said, there's also like a lot of plot details in this book that add to the mystery of what's going on. But I would say it's definitely worth it if you have the time. I gave this book a 3.225 on my reading scale. It's like right in the middle. Didn't love it, but necessarily didn't hate it. Didn't think it was awful or anything. I just really enjoyed it. So, yeah, really excellently written. Would I read it again? Maybe. uh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would read it. I'm not sure because again, it is a time-consuming book, but it's really well written. Uh, yeah, so that's just my review of the Chestnut Man. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was a really interesting book, and I'm going to continue with these book reviews. So, if you guys have read this book, let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. Uh, do you want me to continue with these book reviews? And thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you soon in a new video.